Okay, guys, welcome to the stream, everyone. Sorry that I am starting a little later when it comes to the mic and the roving because let's say my living situation isn't the best, so there are sometimes things that delay work and are very annoying. And I guess I will have interesting night today because of it. So let's just say I live with people that are not very pleasant to live with. So it kind of delays the start of the stream. I'm very sorry about that. I was lucky it didn't happen yet, but today it does. So well, it's still happening, but I hope it will go away. This is also why I hope the comic will make enough money soon so we can move out of here because this is really annoying. I just hope you all live in some better place than I do because this is a shithole. If I'm supposed to be honest with you, this is a horrible place to live with those people. Like I live in a nice town, but the people I have to live with right now are just horrible, and it kind of reflects on my life and overall how things are with me. So yeah, I hope the comic will will do great soon financially, so we can finally move away from here and get our own flat. This is the main motivation. So I guess I've started drawing, and I hope that the situation will get better. I'm also waiting for something, so be patient with me. Okay, so I want to continue on this picture. This is another design for the story. When it's done, it will be part in Society 6 and Red Bubble. There are two designs right now, so this will be a third one. And just by looking at it, it's a week since I saw this picture. And just by looking at it, I know I will edit the hat because I don't think it looks that good. Well, thanks. I don't really like my voice because I don't sound very feminine. I sound rather masculine. At least I think so. My English isn't the best because I'm from Czech Republic. So English isn't my native language. It's Czech. I had to learn English in school and by myself, so some words I can't pronounce correctly. It's sometimes since I'm out of school, so my English isn't top tier. So please, when I fell silent for a moment, I'm probably looking for a correct word to say. Okay, so as I said, when I do and just I'm silent, I'm just looking for right words because, as I said, English isn't my native language and I'm not that good when it comes to speaking. I'm much better when it comes to writing and drawing and all that stuff, but speaking isn't my biggest thing. And I hope that these streams will help me to get better at talking and also at English. I know I was good at English also when it came to talking, but as I said, it's sometimes since I was at school, and when you don't use something, you forget it. So thanks for thinking my voice is nice, but I don't think it's nice because there are so many better voices that sound more feminine, and also when people can actually talk good, or well, I guess. Excuse me, I will just do something. Hello, it's nice you make it. But as I said, no pressure, just be here as much as you can. But don't pressure yourself since you said you don't have that much time. Okay, so I guess I should start the drawing. Turn the music on, and today we may also have a guest on the stream. Excuse me. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I need to do something, so give me a moment, okay? Okay guys, I'm sorry. I'm back. Sorry about this. This never happened before, but I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. This never happened before, but well, let's say there was how to say it. Let's say there something like unfortunate situation that I had to just deal with. So that's why I was away for like 10 minutes maybe. Because there is something I had to deal with, something very unfortunate. As I said, I live in a quite unfortunate place with people that don't like me, and I have to deal with it, and because, like living situation. Well, I'm okay, like, I'm not hyped, like, I'm okay on body, but not on soul. This isn't the first time this happened. I cry quite a lot, so I just hope that it will never happen, and there is a stream, because I didn't want people to know about these things, and I do these streams because I want to have a good time and have a good time with you guys, because I can talk to someone and have fun. I hope that this will never happen, that you will never hear me cry or sound like this, but I guess it just had to happen since we are still here. Well, I guess since I already dropped the update, you should know what is happening. It's nothing new. I'm dealing with this for years, and I know it's also my fault, but I'm still trying to figure out how the situation. Those who know me for some time know what I have been through and still am. But let's say it like this. I live in a place with my boyfriend and his family, his parents, because we still didn't get our own place to live. He does what he can. It's not his fault. He tries his best. I know it. But I am the problem, because, as I told you so many times on these streams, my work life is hell. I am not able to get a normal job because I'm not able to do it mentally. When I was in retail, it was higher, and I can't get a decent job, mainly the one that I have actually a degree for. So For the most of my life, I'm unemployed because I just can't get a good job. They always take something else, or it's something that is just horrible. That's why I started this comic. So with hopes that it makes enough money so we can move away. And before you suggest it, I've had Upwork and all that kind of stuff, but I never had that much luck to make enough money to move away. So as I said so many times, and as it is in that note, this comic is like a last resort to finally get away from the situation. So we can finally get our own place to live, leave this place, leave these horrible people that I just don't like. I guess they are not evil people, but they don't like me, I don't like them. I can't really say anything over here, because if I do, I'm insulted, attacked, and there are also other consequences, just like now, because I'm assumed guilty of many things over here. That's just how my daily life is. Just trying to get away from here. And I hope that it will never get public like this. But you know, things like these just get to at some time, at some point. I guess it had to happen. In fact, even if I made just $500 a month, it would be, I guess it would be enough to move away from here. But you know, it takes time before you start to make money with the comic, with Patreons. It takes time, and the time is running out, because I just don't know how much more of this I can handle. And my boyfriend, it's not his fault. I don't know how much we can handle of this, and it's just ruining me inside. Even if it was just stupid, like I know that many people say $500 isn't that much for a month, but for me it is. I guess that's just that. If I would be able to make that much money with my Patreon, we could move away. And if I would make more, it would be even better. But I am not right now, and I was given many tries, and I just gave up things and my life. But I didn't want you to know about this. Like, you know, I try to smile at everyone and be nice and just make other people feel good, but my life isn't all that happy. And I guess now you know. I just hate to cry. I cry all the time. So now I don't know what to do, because I thought it will be another stream. Just another stream going, and that I would cry like a small baby and do all this. I'm so sorry if it annoys you. I know everyone has own problems in life, and I don't think you have to hear about mine. And the worst thing is that I know I will cry now, I will go to sleep, hoping things will get better, and when I wake up next day, it will be the same. It's always like that. Until this problem is solved, it will always be like that. Just going to sleep, getting over it, and knowing that when you wake up next day, it will be the same. Unless people actually come to my help and give me money on Patreon, on the cafe, for my comic, I guess it will just be the same. Maybe I will have to stop doing this and go to retail or something when this fails, this plan. Or when I just go crazy all of it, or something like that. That's also why I'm so keen on this comic, making money, on making designs for the shops, or kicking up the Patreon, just because I want to get away from here. I want our own life, I want our own place to live, I want family. I finally want to have some peace. Like, having normal life, having final freedom of like living like a normal person. That's all I want. And I still don't have it. And I'm afraid I will never will, but I'm still trying. I just hope you will never see this, like, when I finally crack under the pressure and talk about it, because I know I could just turn the stream off and say it's over, that something happened, but I hope I will be able to keep the facade, but I wasn't. Well, I hope I can achieve all of that, but the thing is, until I have the money, until I get all that money that is needed for such thing, I will just, I don't know, just do what I do and have to live through such things. Like, I know you are there, but I will turn the stream off, go to sleep, and then no, it's still the same. And it's been like this for years. And I just don't want it to be like that anymore. I was talking about my personal life and problems for some time on the internet. Maybe in the past, I don't do that anymore, but it was always in text. I was never talking about that. No one ever had me care like this about such things on the internet. And I know the guy won't solve anything, but I just couldn't keep it in. And if there is someone on this stream who was never here before, I'm so sorry you had to hear this for the first time on these streams. Things were always so chilly, we always had fun. I know this. Like, I'm sorry if this is your first experience. Yeah. It just really sucks. Like, really sucks. Yeah, stay true to myself, but until we can get out of here, I guess it will be like this. I just have to hope that people like my work and are kind enough to help me. Because without that, I'm not sure what to do. Yeah. And now I also don't know what to do because it's almost an hour since this stream is on, and all I did was keeping you in the dark at the beginning, and then like basic. I didn't do anything productive, and I might just talk about it, and I don't know what to do next. Nah, I didn't think so. I didn't imagine this stream to be like this. And also, this is the first time that I'm KIing and also speaking in English. When I KI, I talk in Czech. I wasn't ever KIing and trying to speak English. It's, I don't know, it's just weird to KI and at the same be sad, devastated, and at the same time trying to speak in the language that isn't native to you. Sorry for all the sighing, but I don't know. I know it's my fault in many things that we are still here, but I just don't know what to do. Then die. I have to rely and hope that people will be kind to me and and help me to get out of this shithole, so I can get away from these people, so I can be finally free from all of this and have freedom and have my own life. I don't want anything else than to get away from here. And I also don't want to get stuck in the retail or something like that, because I was there. It was a nightmare for me. And I'm so afraid I will get stuck there forever. I don't know, guys. I don't know what to do. Maybe if you can spread the word or something like that. I don't know, spread my comic, spread my Patreon. If you want to check the comic, check the Patreon, support me, donate to me, anything, like, help me to get out of the situation. The links are in the description under the video. I know there were cases of people that were living in horrible situations, and people on the internet actually got money to help them out of that. I was never that lucky. But as I said, all the links in, if you want to help somehow by just spreading the word about the comic, about my Patreon, about my living situation, and want to help, links are in the description. So you know where to look. Maybe, I don't know, maybe something would finally happen. I found that, the comic is doing great on by itself. But in a moment like this, you just don't feel like that's enough. I'm so sorry about this. I really hope it will be better. Maybe I should start drawing, because maybe that could help. maybe. Well, usually it does. Maybe talk to me or something like that. That could help if you talk to me. I need to get over this. I need to fix this. I need to get over this somehow. It's just like with the clouds. Clouds are all jolly when it comes to the work, when it comes to everything outside. But when you look at their personal life, they are usually very sad people. I guess I'm just like that. But just like a clown. Also, if there is anyone new on the stream, I'm sorry, I'm crying right now, so don't don't mind that. I mean, I hope this would be just another happy stream. Also, if anyone wants to say something like that it's my boyfriend's fault that we hear that like the man is supposed to take care of such things, that's not true. He does everything he can, so that's not his fault. I just have to figure it out somehow. I need to get over this. So, as I said, guys, if you want to help me to get out of this shithole and finally have some decent life, the links are in the description. There's a comic, there's Patreon, there's coffee, there's anything that can help us to get out of here, even if it's just a stupid $500 a month. We would be able to move away from here. I would finally have a home. So if you want to help me with that, I would be very grateful. No, I don't want all that money because I want to get a yacht or buy a private island. I want it just because I want a normal decent human life. When you don't, when you don't have even the basic life, like the basic human life, then you know what's important. So please, if you can share it somehow, get it somehow, it would be great. Like, of course, it would be great if I would make more than 500 a month. That would be great, but 500 it would be like a great minimum, a safe minimum to get away from here and get a flat and finally get away. I need to get over this. So I guess I will find a day or something. And thank you guys for listening to me. Like, I know it's not a very pleasant experience, but I'm quite amazed that you didn't all leave. That's kind of amazing. And I know it helps when you talk about your problems. I'm sure there has to be a way to fix this. I'm sure there has to be a way. A way that doesn't disturb me. Well, I wouldn't share if I didn't want to share. Just kind of the update on you. Out of nowhere. Well, as I said at the beginning, I wanted to have a little guest today until all this happened. All these teams that I made were done in the presence of my boyfriend because we are in the same room. Yes, that's how we live here. We have to live in the same room all day. So he's with me here every stream, and he said that he would like to join, like talk to you guys. That was that was the plan. That when I started the stream, that I will be off probably, and he will talk to you. But you know how it is. And don't be mad at him, guys. Be thankful to him because he took me in the first place, because of my family situation. He took me in, and he takes care of me every day. So be thankful to him. And I don't know what James. He wanted, I guess he wanted some attention too. He always sits here and listens to what I say, then I answer to you.
Well, I'm not an attention whore or something like that.
So det är på.
Kde jsi vzal? To si teď vypadl.
No to dobro.
Jo, je to pomalý.
Well, I guess well, he's right here right now, so I guess we can still do that. I'll give him a mic and he can talk to you guys. Like he will introduce himself and maybe he will talk something about
you introduce me.
that he will.
Wow.
And like you will know something more about my personal life. Like I know, well, actually, I think you learned quite a lot today, quite a lot that I didn't want you to know, but you will learn something more today about me. So I'll let him introduce himself. I'll give him a mic, and you write in the chat. You know, as always. So I give it to him.
Well. Okay, hello there. Can you hear me?
Yes, they can. They heard me, so they can hear you.
I'm here. With this headset, it's not quite comfortable for me because, yeah, better.
No move.
Well, hello there. My name is Lukas. It's English version. In Czech, it's Lukáš. So as you know, I'm Veronica's boyfriend it was 2 days ago. It was 8 years and 9 months since we started together. Because the beginning of our love we count it as the November 23rd of 2011. It's our anniversary day. As Veronica already said, shall I talk more loudly? Veronica says that I should talk more loudly.
Ne loudly, ale jasněji.
Yeah.
Bebláš.
Well, as Veronica said, we still live with my parents in a flat, and it's not an optimal situation, and sometimes it's very hard. For example, just now, because of course when four people, four adult people live in one flat, it usually creates discomfort and some problematic situations and some unpleasant things, you know. Well, sometimes there are moments when it seems that everything's okay, but then suddenly something cracks and it turns into dramatic or even horror scenes. So, well, as I said just now, it's not good. We don't feel good just now, but I hope that it will improve. And of course, our main goal is to move from here to our own flat. I try my best to do. I'm trying my best to achieve that. To earn as much money as possible. I know that also Veronica tries her best, but simply sometimes even if you try your best, sometimes it's simply not enough because the circumstances and the situation and everything seems against you, and sometimes you're simply, even if you try your best, you're simply not strong to overcome such obstacles and such uh, such situation. I think I talk. I think I said a lot of. If somebody wants to ask me something, ask some question, I would be happy to answer.
Roof that was the blush.
Veronica says that I should talk more loudly again,
Clearly.
more clearly. To
Hmm. Oh. As I said before, I promised you all that when we actually manage to move away from here, that we will tell you the whole story of my life. It's not a nice one, but it will explain why he had to practically save me from the situation I was in. So I hope that will happen soon, so I can tell you all.
well, it's a horrible story, but with happy end. I hope so, at least.
If you can call this happy ending.
Well,
for now.
at least there is some. Well, at least partially happy ending is because we both are alive and we are together, and both these things were not sure. It was not sure that we survive and that we will be together. And I mean it seriously.
I'm not shitting you. The situation I was in was life-threatening. I'm not shitting you. The ones who know me personally would say that still. There were there were actually moments where the life was in danger, my life, and also the lives of my family, like my born family, because of my idiotic father. I will tell you about you one day.
And it's long,
But
it's long
as I said, I'm not cheating you. It was not good.
But paradoxically, thanks to these horrible and terrible moments that we have to go through, these these terrible moments, they forged our love into something that's indestructible, and we know that we will be together till the end of days, because we literally went through hell. It was something. Uh, it's sometimes still it's hard to remember it and to talk about it. I'm sure that 99% of couples that are together didn't have to go through something comparable with this, and I would not wish something like that to anyone, because as I said, we went through hell.
Well, I think that this is good enough for line 8, I guess. This will make a good design.
A badger is coming here. Yeah, we've got plushy badger here. A lot of turtles. Yeah, we've got a lot of turtles here. I think we can say that we are collecting tortoises, and we've got tens of them made from various materials: plastic, rubber, glass, minerals, wood, metal, everything you can name. The only exception is we don't have got living tortoise. But it's one of our main wishes to have tortoise as our pet. We can say that tortoises are probably our most favorite animals. We love tortoises. In fact, I did have pet tortoise when I was young, when I was a kid. I wanted to have a pet, but my problem is that I've got allergy, and I probably can't have a dog or cat or something with fur, because I've got allergy to pardon? Probably. So we decided to buy a tortoise, and also I wanted some long living animal, and tortoises can live for a very very long time. It's usual that tortoises can
outlive.
If you buy a tortoise, it will probably outlive you. That was the reason for I decided to have a tortoise. So we bought a tortoise, and I was very happy to have this animal. But the tortoise, he fell sick and died. So I expected to have tortoise for tens of years, and probably that the tortoise would outlive me. But in reality, he died after I think it was 13 or 14 years.
Oh, I'm sure you can be off, don't worry about that.
But I still want to have tortoise, a new one. So when we move to our own flat, our new home, we will definitely buy a tortoise. Of course, also in Veronica's comics, you will see some tortoises.
Yes, tortoises.
But you will have to wait for them. I guess you know the difference between tortoise and turtle. Yeah, turtle is the waterborne creature that lives usually in oceans, while tortoise is is the land walking one, and it's one very interesting thing. There's also a third word, a terrapin. Terrapin is amphibious tortoise or turtle, or simply it's amphibious creature that lives in also in water or on land. Maybe you know the terrapins are, for example, the small turtles that are that you can meet, for example, in American muds and in southern USA, Florida, and in such states. And it's paradox that the word terrapin is used only in British English, but there are no terrapins living in Great Britain. So the British are the only who use this word, but this very animal doesn't even live in Great Britain. So the turtle is word for all types, and also it's a word for the sea creatures. So sometimes it can cause a confusion when you're talking about turtle or turtles or even terrapin. When you say turtles, it's definitely a land walking creature. For example, the beautiful big tortoises that live on Galapagos Island. If you know Pokemon, Torterra is created on basis of these big tortoises.
Oh, look at him. He's so happy. I just want to be happy like him. That would be amazing.
How can he be happy while he doesn't have pineapple?
He does have pineapple.
Where?
Everywhere.
Oh, these are cans. We both like pineapple as Epsilon does.
Before all of this started, that's what I wanted to talk about on this stream. I am so sure I taught so many people with this comic, with those 10 pages. Unless you read the old version or just know about it from me or something like that, it seems to me nobody knew that Bat is actually Epsilon, that he changes into a human. I think I taught so many people with that. I'm kind of proud of myself. But it wasn't actually intentional. When I was making it, I didn't realize people have no way of knowing that Bat is a human and it's Epsilon. So someone in the comments was writing me that he was wondering where is the other boy, that there is a Bat, but there was no sign of that other boy from the cover. So he was wondering where he is, or if he will show up later. And he was also thinking that this Bat was something like talking animal companion to the main character. That shows how he is. That he has a talking bat on his shoulder all the time. And then when Epsilon changed to human form, it left people kind of shocked. So yeah, I guess I thought few people with that reveal, and I didn't even. It wasn't even intentional, because when you make a comic and you know everything, it just you don't realize people don't know it, and that it might be a surprise for them. So I unintentionally told people. I'm kind of proud of that. Of course, when you go further, there won't be something like that, because everyone will know people can turn into animals.
I'm quite sure that that one or two streams ago, Veronica was talking about bats, and that here, that in fact we are living in a house that's very close to a hill, and the hill is a natural reservation where a lot of bats live. I think we've got 13 species of bats that live in a cave system that's inside the hill. When I was a young boy, there were really a lot of bats here, and I remember that I was a young boy, maybe 10 years old. We were standing on a balcony with my older brother, and we were watching bats that were flying here. We But now I think they are well, bats are endangered, and the numbers their numbers are falling. So now it's very rare to see a bat here. In fact, I don't remember for several years that I saw a bat here.
Well, you saw them, then you got stuck.
Yeah, of course, as well. Yes, yes. Well, I don't remember to see a flying bat here. I don't remember see flying bat here in the evening or in the night. But it's possible to get into the cave system. Usually, 1 or 2 times a year. The people that take care about the caves, they open them, and normally they are closed. It's not possible to get into them, but 1 or 2 times a year, the specialists open the caves for the public, and you can go, or better to say, to sneak through the caves and see the beds that are hanging there and sleeping there. So I saw bats in the hill, literally in the hill, and I stuck there, as Veronica said, because on one of the place of the cave system, it's necessary to really literally sneak through a narrow hole, and I got stuck there, and it was well, not a comfortable or pleasant moment. In fact,
Scared.
I was scared that I stuck there, but my friend helped me to get out. So uh, I went through that, and as I saw the bats hanging and sleeping there.
Well, I hope they don't. I hope they didn't. That's I needed, so I
Yes,
hope. I hope
they are
they did.
endangered,
They.
and
I hope they didn't do that.
they are very useful, because thanks to bats. Well, bats are they are eating some kinds of insects that are parasites or things like that.
Yes, parasites. Like politicians.
For example, we are very glad to have hornet nests here, because hornets also are destroying parasites such as flies and mosquitoes. They are incredibly effective as a predators. We live in warm regions where mosquitoes are very common. But thanks to hornets, it's in fact it's very rare to get to be bitten by a mosquito because the hornets are predating them very effectively. We like hornets. They are beautiful creatures. And they are absolutely not dangerous. Many times a hornet sat on my hand or on my back, and after that it flew away. Hornets don't attack you when you don't. They don't attack you when you don't endanger them. Of course, when they feel that they are under attack, they will attack back. So then you can get bitten or something like that, but they don't attack as the first. And yes, we've got parrot here. I think it was 3 or 4 weeks ago, we started to hear a very, very strange bird scream.
Just to let you know, we're in Czech Republic, so we don't have rainforests over here. This is Central Europe. So that means we have things like foxes, badgers, squirrels, pigeons, barn swallows, peregrine falcons. Like this is the Central Europe. So this is I guess you can imagine our nature. So that's for the context.
And about 3 or 4 weeks ago, we started to hear very strange bird scream. And I said to myself, it sounds like a parrot. Maybe somebody bought a parrot, and we can hear it while he or she screams from the flight. But after a few days, we saw the parrot sitting on a tree, and we realized that the parrot is at large, or it's wild, or how to say it. Probably it flew away from someone, from the owner, and it still flies here and screams. And it's very loud screaming. We even managed to identify the species of the parrot. I'm not sure what's the English name of that. Well, it's green with a green parrot with a red hat. And, in Czech, it's called Alexander. Well, as the male name, Alexander. And we still occasionally see him or hear him, and probably a him, because probably it's male, because parrot females are usually much quieter than males.
Yes, Czech nature. Yes, Czech nature always greets us with the morning screams of the parrot.
Yeah.
This also reminds me, someone was asking me, I think today or yesterday, how you gain those animal forms in the comic. Like, what determines your animal form? Yeah, I'm not sure it was Alexander. There are a few there are a few types of that bat. I'm not sure if it's even Alexander the Big or how it's called. But it's probably something like it's a green parrot. Big green parrot that's very lousy. Very noisy, so it's something like that. Something. But as I said, someone was asking me how is determined those animal forms.
Yeah. Yes, that's him. Rose-ringed parakeet.
Yes, you got him. That should be the parrot.
Yeah, rose-ringed parakeet.
Looks like that's him.
Yeah. Oh, I was mistaken. I said red hat. Of course, I mean red beak. Of course, not a red hat. Yeah, green bird with a red beak.
So when I get back to it, the animal forms, I was asked how it is determined, if it's hereditary or random. It's not random. I think I talked about this on the stream already, but it's kind of like in the nature. It depends on the place where you live, because when you live somewhere, the living creatures always adapt. So that's why most of the characters that you will see in this comic come from the place that is supposed to resemble Czech Republic. So most of their animal forms are Czech based.
Or they are animals that you can meet in Czech Republic as a normal wild creatures.
But there are still exceptions. There is at least one exception right now in the story that you can live in some country, but you still have animal form from some other place, and that's probably because you have a family over there. So it's not random. But it's not fully random, but it's also not fully hereditary. That if you have ancestors in some other country, you still have those genes, so you can get some other animals. So let's say you are from Czech Republic, so as I said, you can probably imagine our nature and then say, let's say you have someone from Hawaii, or the place that is supposed to be like Hawaii, so and you have those genes, and you turn into dolphin.
Well,
or something. I guess you can imagine how it works.
Well, imagine Czech Republic is landlocked country, so if you imagine to be someone who turns into a dolphin, well, it's a problem in landlocked country without ocean. Yeah. But the one exception, Veronica mentioned, is an animal that it doesn't come from Czech Republic. You can't meet it here in wild, but I think it could live here if it moves here sometimes somehow. It would probably survive here.
Takže jsem přišel. Musím se počít, kdyby přišel.
Měl co řád. Někde pobočí nějakou důvětší. Malý trochu určitě. Pokud by byl malý, tak by přežil. Až by vyrostl, tak pravděpodobně už ne.
Oh, I think the face is too big. God damn it.
When we started to see and hear the parrot, I called the police and tell them that we got stray or runaway parrot or something like that, and whether can they do something with that. but the policeman said that sadly they are not equipped to catch parrots or flying creatures because they got only tools to catch stray dogs or cats or snakes or simply walking, crawling creatures, but not flying ones. So the parrot is still living here, and it's a bit strange that nobody is missing him, because you would expect that if someone buys a parrot and the parrot flies away, the owner would probably try to find it or something like that. But it seems that nobody is missing parrot here. So strange. But we got too used to it. When we wake up in the morning, we occasionally hear the parrot screaming. As Veronica said, Czech nature is waking us with.
Well, the police said that they will contact animal control vet, so I guess they did.
No, they said
since
no,
you know it's police.
No. They said that if somebody contacts them and says it's my parrot, I'm missing it, do something with that, they will contact the animal control rescue stations, and they probably can do something with that. But without the owner asking for help, they won't do anything.
Also, it's the parrots apparently are able to travel for kilometers.
For long distances. Tens of kilometers.
And then they can just stop at the place they like. So it's possible that parrot comes from
a distant city.
From some distant city, from some totally other place. So even if they catch it, I don't know how they would
find the
owner. And I don't know how they catch a parrot, but I guess it's not easy.
Maybe with some bait.
Because most of the time he spends most of the time on the twigs of the trees. We never saw him on the ground, so I'm not sure how they would even attack him. And I'm sure it would be quite a work to attract and catch such an animal. And if no one is missing him, then I'm not sure they would do anything about it. My guess is that he got outside accidentally somewhere, that he had an owner, but maybe he got accidentally out and just flew away. No. And if that happened, then I guess it's the fault of the owner, because I think that if you have a bird, you usually cut their wings so they can't really fly away.
My friend told me, he lives 2 streets from us. He told me that at least 3 times a parrot flew into his flat, and it was still the same parrot, and he always contacted the owner, and because the owner declared that he's missing a parrot, and my friend returned the parrot to the owner. It seems that the owner is very unresponsible person, because several times when you have a parrot, and several times when it flies away, it doesn't look good.
And I said that you don't cut the wings, you cut the feathers, like the feathers that they need for flying. That didn't sound good.
No. We are curious what happens when the winter comes. Maybe the parrot, the green parrot, will have problem to live here. But we read in a book that in Germany, the parrots of this very same species, the rose-ringed parakeet, They live in Germany. They are runaway parrots or flyaway parrots, or how to say it. They live in parks and gardens and so on. And they even
Yes, clipped. Excuse me, I didn't know the right
yeah,
word.
yeah. Oh.
Like, you know what I mean? Just
To shorten the feathers.
shorten the feathers so they can't fly away. Just when they do that with chicken. That was the young word. Yes, clipped. That's
Yeah.
the word.
We read in a book that in Germany the populations of flyaway parrots live in parks and gardens and so on, and they even learned how to feed them from
Bird feed. I guess.
they are flying to bird feeders, and they are eating the crops that people put there, so they can survive the winter. We've got several bird feeders here, so we are curious whether parrot will learn to fly there and to survive the winter here. You know that parrots are very smart, very very smart animals. So I think that if some exotic bird have a chance to survive our winter, and our winter can be sometimes very harsh, then it's definitely a parrot. I will.
We will tell him next year if he survived.
Well, I think that he will. I think he has a serious chance to survive the winter. Of course, we would like to him to survive, or maybe better to be caught and returned to his owner, but we know that it's very improbable now that somebody catches him. Of course, there's also a danger that some predatory bird can attack him. Something like a hawk or falcon. But I think that the predatory birds that live here, they simply don't know such green birds. So maybe they don't take him as a prey. So maybe they simply don't attack something like that. They usually attack pigeons. It's good because we've got a real lot of pigeons here.
It's some time since I saw you. Sometimes I go to your DeviantArt, but it's some time since we talked. That's so nice of you. Thank you. Where to send it? Um, you can't really use a link. Link. Well, I have Twitter, Instagram. I don't know if you have tapas. I guess not. I'm thinking I don't want to use an email because that's weird. I remember using a link over here, but maybe that's because I'm No, that's interesting. As I said, hmm, yeah, I do. You know what? Let's do this. I'll use. I'll send you a link to Discord for the comic. You can accept it. Like you don't have to stay there if you don't want to. But let's use the link for the comic, and you can post it there. I guess that will be the easiest thing to do. Try this. It doesn't work as the link, but it's a text, but it should work. Yeah, I know that you moved to United Kingdom, and that's like all. I know that you still do dragon stuff, and that you moved to United Kingdom. That's all I know for now. We kind of stopped talking when I stopped making that Pokemon comic. I think that's how long we didn't talk, maybe. I don't really use the DeviantArt that much anymore because we all know that it went to hell and shit. DeviantArt is just a shithole right now with how it controls. Yeah, so I love T2. I love T very much, but I still wouldn't leave our great Czech Republic. So okay, so I'm on Discord. So if the link works, you can send it there. I thought that links just work on the chat, but wait. Uh, mm. Okay, so it looks like the YouTube is censoring even me. So you know what? Send me that username for Discord, and I will add you or do that. And if that doesn't work, just use DA notes. I think that will be the last resort. So just give me the username or and DeviantArt will be the last resort. This is so fucking. I had no idea that sharing a link on a YouTube stream could be such a problem. I had no idea about this. I thought that the links work just fine over here. I really had no idea it's so hard to. Oh, maybe I'm just stupid and I never remember how this thing works. Oh, I think it worked. Yes, but thank you for coming. You missed me crying and being all shit. Well, actually, maybe it's a good thing that you didn't hear that, see that. And I hope that damn Discord works. I really had no idea that YouTube Stream has such a problem with links. Oh, oh, that's so cute. Oh, look at it, guys. It's so cute. Oh, this is going to fun art feature for sure. Oh, he's so fat and chubby. He ate at least 5 pineapples. I'm so sure about that. This is so cute. Oh. If you allow me, this is going to be in the fun art feature for the next comic update. Everyone needs to see this. This is so cute. He's so fat and chubby. This is how he will look when he gets when he finally eats enough. This is how he will look when he finally gets a proper meal. Oh, put it over here. Okay, so right now I got 3 fun arts, so I guess I can do fun art feature on the next update. That will be amazing. And don't worry, I will put the name of everyone who do something for me, so people know. I just want to know people that when I get a fun art, I just want people to know about it and see it, because you guys deserve it, since you donate some of your time, your free time, to actually do something for me. Then you deserve to be seen, and your work deserves to be seen. Get some recognition from others just because you decided to take some of your free time and give it to me like this. This is so cute. I just can't get over how chubby he is. He's so slim in the normal version. And over here he's just so fat. I guess it's because, they are kids on the street, on the outside, so they don't eat that much. So this is how he will look when he finally gets a proper meal, proper food for some time. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. That could be used for something. I don't know what just yet, but we could use this for something. Like an emote. I saw something like that on Discord. Or maybe when I decide one day to stream on the Twitch, maybe they don't have problem with the links, and make this into an emote. Yes, because pineapples are so sweet. I think you can get fat by eating pineapples. When you eat most of the fruit, you can get fat. I think the only exceptions are bananas and maybe pineapples. But I read that pineapples actually help you lose weight, but I don't know what happens if you eat a lot of them. Pineapples can be actually I think, dangerous when you eat too many of them, because they have some acids in them that in a big number can do some damage. Actually, when I tried, actually for the most of my life, I was eating canned pineapples, which have totally different taste from the fresh ones. And when I taste the fresh pineapple for the first time, my mouth started to bleed. It was very spicy. Later, when I googled that, it's actually pretty common. Some people just can't eat the pineapple because it reacts bad with their body, and one of those symptoms is that your tongue is bleeding. I I don't know what kind of pineapple it was. I guess it was a normal pineapple, but then there are those sweet pineapples. It's called sweet pineapple, and those are actually, it's called like that because it's sweeter than the regular, and I have no problem eating those.
More expensive.
But the truth is, when you eat more pineapple, like when you eat a lot of pineapple at once, then you start to feel that your mouth is not doing too well. I guess because it has so many juices and some acids in it that it doesn't do too well. But I think Epson is immune to that, so he just eats and eats when he can. Like he's a very hungry kid. When you have a food, he will just go for it. Yes, pineapples are actually they are very healthy because they have, I think they have minerals, vitamins, and they will help to burn the fat or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But eating them in big numbers can be dangerous, I think. But as I said, Epsilon is a very hungry kid. If he sees food, he will eat it. No matter what it is, but the pineapples are the top priority. Mm. I think this will look good as a design in the store. There will be this picture and there will be a sign, "Don't worry, eat them pineapple." I think that will look good. I would like to get a pineapple. It's good. I love pineapples, watermelons, and when it's winter, we get pomelos.
Kiwis also kiwis you like.
I like fruit overall. I like fruit, but at the same time, I love things like meat and milk, and I just eat a lot of things. There are some things that I don't eat, but I just love fruit. Yes, the pineapple eats you. Like, why pineapple? Like, why does he like pineapple? Or what do you mean? Why does he like pineapple so much? Um, that's interesting story. It has origins in my real life. To give you context, you need to know that Charlie hates pineapple. It's like an evil fruit to him. It's the devil's spawn. He hates pineapple. He would burn it all. erase it from existence, anything to just prevent that hideous fruit to exist. He hates pineapple. Epsilon loves pineapples, but it's cursed fruit. But he loves mushrooms. That is something that Americans apparently don't do. Yes, it's a meme. Apparently, Americans don't collect mushrooms in the woods, in the forest. We do that. Czech Republic is full of people that like to collect mushrooms in the forest, in the woods.
All Europe is full of people.
So we have many kinds of mushrooms over here. Charlie loves mushrooms. He eats pineapple. And Epsilon loves pineapple, doesn't like mushrooms. And where it came from, well, I have two friends. Two friends from my hometown, one female, one male. The female friend loves mushrooms, but hates pineapple. And the male friend loves pineapple, but hates mushroom. And I love both. I love mushrooms and pineapple. And so I just kind of took that and butted it on those two just to make it as a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke that is based on my two friends. If mushrooms can burn in hell, then you are on Team Epsilon. If you like pineapple, you are on Team Epsilon. And if you like alcohol, you are in different team, but it's too soon to review that. I'm not going to talk about him yet. That would ruin all the fun. So yeah. Yes, you can divide into Team Epsilon, Team Charlie, so Team Aquarius, Team Scorpio, and Team Drinks will come later. Maybe I should call it Team Wine. And this is not really a comic for young kids. So there will be things like alcohol and all that stuff. But it's too soon to invite people to Team Wine. Or Team Liquor, or how it's called. But for now, we have Team Epsilon and Team Charlie. Based on the food. Yeah, I think this will good in the story. And I think it will look good with transparent background, so just buy it. I don't want to spoil that yet. I don't want to. That will be a spoiler. I try to avoid a spoiler as much as possible. Like, it's hard because I like to talk, and sometimes when I talk about my story, I just can't shut up. But I try to keep things secret, so you can be tell or something like that. I rather will be quiet on those things. Like, you can ask me stuff, but I need to be careful when it comes to reading things because, like, I know not everyone who reads those comics comes here, but I don't want to ruin the fun just because you came to the stream. And I'm sure this will look good. You will be able to get this on the blanket. Or a tote bag, something like that. Yes, so we are already getting here a civil war. Civil war between Team Epsilon and Pineapple and Team Charlie and Mushroom. We are getting a civil war over here in our little fandom. Good. I'm really curious. I really wonder what will happen. What will people think after the first chapter ends? Because the first half is practically just setting up things, meeting the characters for the first time, giving them some basic characterization, and the second half is targeted at one certain thing, and there happens some interesting stuff. So I wonder what people will say about it, how they will react. I think the problem with my old comics was that nothing was really happening there. When you finish the first chapter, nothing really happened. Over here, something happens. And if you will be patient enough, you will find out why that big Scorpio came. What did happen that night? I actually put step by step on my Patreon of how I do that glowing Scorpio because people like it so much. Everyone was remembering that Scorpio. Everyone was saying how nice it is. So I decided to put a step by step on my Patreon so people can see how it was done and maybe even try to learn that.
And also they can recognize it as a scorpion or a lobster.
Also, two people called it a lobster, not a scorpion. I know those are similar, but so if you want to learn how I did that, you can go to my Patreon and check that out. It was kind of it was experimental, but I think it turned out good. Also, what people really like about this comic, every second comment that I get is about how colorful this comic is, and when I read it, it's like I feel like other comics don't have colors because people mention it so much. Like, I don't know why. I know it's colorful, but they mention it so much. And if someone dies, well, we are not, let's say, we are not show for kids. Death exists in this world. You practically in this comic, you already met the god of death itself. The Scorpio is the god of death, of underworld. So we practically already met the god of death, so I swear there is a death in this world. It exists, and it will threaten anyone. Yes, I know that people always said that my stuff is colorful, but right now it's everyone says that it's very colorful. It reminds them of the 90s or the early 2000s, and someone even called it retro. And actually, the more I look at it, I think it's true that this comic doesn't look mainstream. It has thick lines, very solid colors, and I think it's not really the style of the female. It's not a feminine style. It's more for boys, I think. I didn't do that on purpose. I just wanted to make it very colorful, nice to look at, and detailed. And this is what people came up with. I know it looks. I don't want you to be really deceived by the looks, because I know it looks colorful, it looks friendly, almost childlike, but don't be fooled by that. This isn't really story for kids. Mainly at some points, it's not a story for kids, even though it may look like that. Yeah, I know it helps to stand out. The comic is up for for a month and few days, and I think it already has an identity that it looks like something from all the times. I'm glad about that we at least have some identity. And yes, when it comes to anatomy, yes, I know it still needs a lot of work, and this is the first chapter. Even though I was trying to prepare as much as possible, I still had to launch it in quite a rapid time. I still had to rush to launch it. If I had maybe half of a year or year, like the whole year, I know it would look better. I would practice more, I would prepare more things, but I had to launch it now in the summer. I just didn't want to keep it down for a longer time. Well, I couldn't really, so I had to launch it even, and I know that first chapter still has many rough edges. You can see it in some backgrounds are not as good as I would want. Some anatomy is not good. Some perspective for sure is not good. Things like gas still don't look as good as I would want to. Many things are still being improved, evolved, and still I have to work on many things, but I had to do it while I work on the comic. I can't really afford to stop the comic just to take a break and come back after half of a year with new anatomy skills. I know the comic suffers because of it, but I still think it looks much better than the old version. Much, much better. But you have to excuse my art mistakes for now. I promise things will get better. When it comes to chapter 1, yes, sorry, go to sleep. And thank you for coming. Thank you. Yes, it's getting late. Even when it comes to chapter 1, it was made in a few months. It's still made. I still didn't finish it. And I started to work on chapter 1 in the spring of this year. And even in those few months, you can see differences between the first half of the chapter and the second one. The second part of the chapter looks better because it was developed over months. So I guess, and when I was starting the comic, I still had to figure out many things. Like I'll show you, for example, I won't work on this anymore. I work on it the next stream, but I'll show you, for example, how I had to redo things. This is chapter 1, so that means I was still figuring out many things when it was being made. That also means I had to resave many pages, but yes, this. But for example, this is simple example. This was the original. This was the original version of the first page for the first chapter, and this is a fixed one. As you can see, the trees look different, and I decided to use different shade of green because the original green that I used was very similar to old version, and it just doesn't look good. It looks neon. It isn't pleasant to the eye, so we decided for a more dark shade of green. The trees also look different, and this is just one of many examples of how things used to look and how I had to redo them. And this is just one chapter. Also, if you can see, this is a new font, and this is the original font. I tried many fonts before settling on this one. I decided that I need a stronger font so it can be seen better. There are minor differences, but they are there. I can see that because I was making it, but even the simple change of color, as you can see, can make the difference. This is like the neon green. This is darker green. And when you look at the grass, it's a different hue. It's not that much different. Also, the lines of the movement were originally black, but I decided to switch it to white because at many instances, at many points, the black lines couldn't be really seen. So I also had to change that. Also, the water, as you can see, even the color of the water was different. This is just the first page, but it's an example of how things were evolved, and even now I still have to develop many new things and learn. Like, I know my anatomy is not perfect, but I hope I'm getting better. As I said, you can see that when you enter the second half of the chapter, the faces are better. One thing that I am sure I improved in is the face structure and expressions. The body is still something I am working on. Yeah, even the face is everything. I know it's not perfect, and I know it will need more time to be perfect from the page 1. But I just have to move on. I have to move it. I just couldn't afford to take more time. I already spent almost half a year developing this version. But as I said, I am sure it looks better than the original one. I'm sure it looks much better. There are many things that I don't like in chapter 1, and I would do them different if I could. But I'm not going to redo these pages because we wouldn't get anywhere then. Also, there is something at the end of the first chapter. There's a secret for now, but I'm sure you will all be surprised when you see it and what it means. And I just can't wait when it finally gets revealed. But you will have to wait for that for now. Also, the second chapter will be very interesting. We will get a new character, the main character. So I'm curious about that. And it's getting quite late, so I guess we will end this stream. But first, please let me thank you all for listening to me, for staying over here. and just broke down. I feel better now. Yes, I feel better. I guess you can hear that I feel better since I'm normally talky. I can talk now. So yes, I feel better, and thank you for listening to me. And again, sorry for breaking down and letting you know all about this. I hope things can get better. I am trying, and I pray, I hope, I try to believe that things will get better, and that people will help me, because in the end, the success of my comic doesn't only depend on me, but on the kindness of people, of individual people. If people are kind enough to help me, to donate to me every month, and I can get enough money like that, we can finally move, and I can make my dream job. I can do what what I always wanted, and also have home, and finally have own life. But I can only achieve that if people are kind enough to me. So I always remember that I can't really achieve anything just by myself. I need other people. And I'm very thankful again that you stayed here with me. You heard me cry. You heard me talk. And in the end, the other half of the stream was nice. We started to talk. You got to know my boyfriend. And it was just the second half was nice. I got that amazing fan art. Be sure that is going to fan art feature on this week's update. I want to feature the art of anyone who sends me fan art. I think that I'm not sure how many comic creators do that, but I do want to do that. So thank you all for sticking with me. I know it wasn't easy today, but thank you all. We both thank you. I know he is just as grateful as I am, and I'm sure that you all wish us the best. I'm sure of all, because if you didn't, you wouldn't be here. So thank you all, and I hope that the next stream will be better, that I won't cry, and that we will have fun as usual. I really hope it will be better. Things just have to get better. I'm sure it will.
Everything will be better.
Everything will be better.
Yeah. Thank you all. It was nice to talk to you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I guess we will end it for today. It's late. I am keeping you prisoners here for quite a while. So over here it's night. So good night, good day to you, wherever you are, and thank you all, and see you next week. Also, enjoy the comic update. I wonder what you will tell me next week. See you all on the next Tuesday, and thank you for coming. So, good night.
Good night.
Wait. Second fan art? What?
What?
What do you mean by that?
What?
What do you mean by that, huh?
So
Come to the epsilon side.
To jsou škrtnutý.
Dike.
Oh,
Yes, that's also going there.
That's great.
That's great.
That's nice.
That will also go there. Side. Tak come to the dark side, we have pineapple.
Yes,
Yes, that's going to fish. I have.
Everything is proceeding as I have foreseen. I have the pineapple now.
Yes, we are starting to create a fandom, and we already have a civil war. That's okay, guys. We are finally. I'm going to, as a teacher. You can all go now. Go home. Bye bye. So see you next week, guys, and thank you. Good night.